Donald Trump is undoubtedly one of the most polarizing figures in modern history. Whether you love him or loathe him, it's impossible to ignore the strong emotions he evokes. In today's video, we're going to explore some of the main reasons why so many people have strong negative feelings toward the former US president. One of the primary reasons for the disdain towards Trump stems from his controversial statements and behavior. Trump has been known for making inflammatory remarks, whether it's about race, gender, or immigration. His blunt and often aggressive communication style has alienated many people, leading to widespread criticism. While some appreciate his tell-it-like-it-is approach, others see it as divisive and offensive. His comments have often sparked outrage and protests, contributing to the perception of him as a polarizing figure. Another major factor is Trump's political decisions. During his time in office, Trump implemented policies that were highly controversial. From his hardline stance on immigration and the building of the border wall to his withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement, many of his policies were met with fierce opposition. Critics argue that these decisions have had long-term negative effects on the U.S. and its standing in the world. However, it's important to note that many of Trump's supporters viewed these actions as fulfilling campaign promises and putting America first.
Overnight, new legal pressure on former President Trump and his family as an investigation into his organization's finances adds a criminal element. The New York Attorney General's office informing the Trump Organization that its investigation into the company is no longer purely civil in nature, saying in a statement, "We are now actively investigating the Trump Organization in a criminal capacity, along with a Manhattan DA." While a civil probe can result in lawsuits or fines, a criminal one can mean potential charges. The added muscle in his home state bringing extra pressure on the former president. The already sweeping criminal probe by Cyrus Vance, the New York DA, has looked into whether the Trump Organization misled leaders and insurance companies, whether it paid appropriate taxes.
And when Donald Trump called your investigation a witch hunt, that was also false, was it not?
I'd like to think so, yes.
Well, your investigation is not a witch hunt, is it?
It is not a witch hunt.
When the president said the Russian interference was a hoax, that was false, wasn't it?
True.
When he said it publicly, it was false?
He did say publicly that it was false, yes.
And when he told it to Putin, that was false too, wasn't it?
That I'm not familiar with.
So we're going to see some of what our witnesses saw on January 6th. Let's see the video, please. But please be advised that it contains graphic images and strong language, which many may find disturbing.
Hey, brother, we're boots on the ground here. We're moving on to Capitol now. I'll give you a boots on the ground update here in a few.
Multiple capital entries! Multiple capital entries! We're still taking metal, sharpened objects, missiles, to include bottles and rocks, and hand-thrown chemical-grade fireworks. effectively a riot.
1349 hours declaring it a riot.
Trump's legal and ethical issues have also been a significant source of controversy. Multiple investigations into his business practices, alleged ties to Russia, and his role in the January 6th Capitol riot have raised serious questions about his integrity and leadership. For many, these issues are more than just political. They're about the moral character of someone who held the highest office in the land. These concerns have led to widespread distrust and resentment.
If I give this up, they're going to have direct access. At least this capital we can defend. We got to hold what we have.
Trump's presidency also marked a shift in social and political norms. His unorthodox approach to governance and his use of social media to directly communicate with the public were seen by some as refreshing, but by others as damaging to the fabric of political discourse. This disruption of traditional norms has contributed to the extreme polarization we see today. Some believe that Trump has eroded the dignity of the office of the president, while others think he simply brought a much-needed change.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give
is
us a
terrible.
chance
Let's
to
go.
ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet.
you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not
Go ahead.
appropriate. Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to challenge you on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign in the midterms. That
Here we go.
If you don't mind, Mr. President,
Come on.
that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election
No, not
to
at all.
try to keep...
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign...
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President. If I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President.
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have...
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN.
You held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to... You're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
Can you answer why you held on to the documents?
I was negotiating and we were talking to...
Media portrayal has also played a significant role in shaping public perception. Trump's relationship with the media was famously contentious, with both sides accusing each other of bias. Major news outlets often criticized him, which further fueled the animosity from his detractors. But it's important to recognize that Trump has a dedicated base of supporters who feel that the media was unfair to him, often labeling coverage as fake news. This dynamic has only deepened the divide in public opinion. At the end of the day, the reasons why people hate Donald Trump are as varied as they are complex. Whether it's his policies, his behavior, or the way he challenged the status quo, Trump has left an indelible mark on American and global politics. So, what do you think? Is the hate towards Trump justified, or do you see him as a misunderstood figure who shook things up for the better? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button for more contents like this one.